There is no plan B. One of the key learnings I've already taken away. I'm speaking to Joanna a few minutes ago. Welcome to the session, Joanna. How are you?
Hello. Hi, Amit. How do you do? I'm feeling really good.
Excellent stuff. Let's get straight into it. Maybe let's share a bit about your business. What is it you do, and what kind of services do you provide in the law cafe?
I have a business called Family Law Cafe. It's an online service. We're offering services online. So if you have a family law problem, you come to us, tell us what your problem is, and we will take you through from wherever you are to get to the outcome you want. We'll get you the lawyers you need and everything you need online, all from the
Mhm.
convenience of your computer.
Smashing. So all online, one-stop shop, anything to do with family law is for anyone to come to you. And you mentioned very important learning already. There should be no plan B. Tell us a bit more about that and where that philosophy comes into your play.
Yeah, I grew up with in a very sporting family. My father was a sportsman, so we were always doing sport, or I was trailing along behind him, and he would be doing sport, and then I would be doing it. And I wasn't particularly competitive as a child, just enjoying it. I think that's normal. Got to about age 18, and I had a big opportunity to. I was a rower, so to row internationally. And I had the opportunity of trying out for the Olympic Games or trying
Wow.
out for the under 23 championships. And started out with the squad, got towards Christmas time, and I had that conversation with my coach then. And it was basically, under 23s is plan B. And it was like, there is no plan B. I didn't have a plan B to go to the lesser event. I only had the plan B to get into the Olympic squad. And that's what I did. And that is my philosophy. If you have a plan B, that's kind of easy and convenient. Oh, that's okay. If there is no plan B, you got to do what you say you're going to do.
Absolutely, isn't it? Maybe it's like one of those things when you're having a very average day. It's easy for some people to think about plan B and think, yes, okay, if I don't reach for the stars, yes, I've got a fallback and get comfort from that, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we're all different, but it works for me. It
Brilliant,
might not always
brilliant.
be comfortable, but it works for me.
Excellent. And that's exactly what we want to hear. So maybe walk us through how is it that you're happy to have that notion in your mind of having no plan B? And how do you actually stay on plan A? What is your motive? What are your motivators? What techniques do you use to keep driving forward day in, day out, going towards plan A?
Well, I think for me, the difficult part is finding out what I want to do.
Hmm.
And that can take some time. So I think if you're going to have no plan B, you better have a good plan A, put it that way. So,
Mm.
take your time, um, accepting your reality, knowing yourself, what you would like to do. Most people are not so unrealistic that their plan A would be crazy. I would just remember sitting in a boat and thinking, yeah, I think I can do this. And then, putting in my diary, these are the regattas, this is what I need to do. So I think, the whole having a plan A is all about doing the hard work on the analysis and finding out, you know, what you want to do, what your strengths and weaknesses are, and then making a plan. And it doesn't have to be absolutely set, because things don't work out always exactly as you want. But I was kind of used to thinking sort of 5-year plans, like, well, in
Mm.
5 years I'm going to be doing this. And I was always heading for something. As soon as I got to where I wanted to be, then I'd be on the way to making another plan.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about how plans, they often don't work out the way you want to be. And kind of having a plan in pencil, not in pen,
Yeah.
helps create a bit of maneuverability along the way. You mentioned something really interesting, that you were in the under 23 championships, kind of going for the Olympics and looking to be in there. Training for the Olympics or any huge championship like this, the probably plenty of lessons you learned from that experience I've translated into your business world. Would that be true for you?
Oh, definitely. I had the opportunity and I took it. I was
Mm.
in the right place. There was an opportunity to do something which was exciting. And I always, again, it's a bit like when I went to university. I just looked up one of the top universities. I think I put something like Oxford, Cambridge, Durham, York, London, whatever the top 5 were. And only one took me, but one did take me. So I thought I might as well aim high, you know, aim for the moon, aim for the stars, and, you know, you're going to get somewhere. So I think aiming high is good. It is tough. It's not going to be easy because you got to, it takes a long time to get to a high level at anything. And yeah, I had a target, and once you got a target, take aim and just get moving is another good thing.
Just get moving.
Don't just be thinking about it.
Absolutely. And along the way, you learn plenty of things, as you've already said, but plenty of people that I've come across, and probably you've come across whilst you're working with business owners or otherwise, there's been a lot of time learning the traditional way, going through courses, going through webinars and books, and which is all great. But what you just said over there, just take massive action is also important. I mean, how do you recommend or suggest or kind of encourage people to strike the right balance between learning and analysis and paralysis, all that kind of stuff, and just going for it, just good old fashioned going for it?
Well, you know, coaching's really big now. And when I set up Family Law Cafe, I had that in mind, because if I look back at my sporting career, the best years were when I had the best coaches. And I was coached by so many amazing people. So I think as humans, you know, reading a book, that's good. You should do that. However, you know, you get in information, but talking to people, getting, you know, just asking questions, finding out who's the right person. I mean, that first coach, his mantra was, I like to win by as much as I can. And that's kind of stuck in my head. So you just hop around, you find the people that work for you, you ask them lots of questions, learn from other people. It's kind of historically how it's always been done, hasn't it? If we go back millennia, I'm sure the people in tribes, you know, wanted to get the biggest lion or whatever. They learned from the master person, or you want to cook the best stew or something. Just learn from other people.
Yeah, absolutely. Learning from other people. That's probably what we're trying to achieve up here. Other people, to learn from people who have already walked the path that they want to learn. Looking ahead now, you've already been running a successful business for the last 7 years. But it's time to look forward as well. Yes, the economy is challenging, X, Y, and Z, political climate can be unstable, all that kind of funky stuff that's going on in the world that's out of our control. But as a business owner, what do you see are the top 3 challenges do you think that your business could potentially face over the coming, say, 1 year?
I'm going to be honest, and maybe this makes me a bit different. What I'm doing in family law is not the normal thing to do. You know, there are a lot of lawyers. It's easy to make money. If you're a lawyer, you've got these qualifications, you can make money that way. I'm trying to do something a bit different. So when I look at the bigger picture, obviously I keep on top of what's happening, but I'm not going to be led by that. I'm going to lead it myself. Unless someone actively stops me doing what I want to do, I'm going to lead it. So if I look at challenges, I just keep, you know, a weather eye on them, but they're not going to determine how I decide to do things. Sorry.
With a watchful eye on the sea, Kate, how is it moving? Otherwise, just go for what you want to go for. Because challenges have always been there, right? For everyone.
Yeah, my business is not a business, you know, that other people have done. So if I wanted to open a pizza company, a pizza delivery, then I would look at how that is done. But because I'm selling lawyers' services on a monthly subscription basis and everything you need, no one's done that before. So I'm just forging my own path. So if there are challenges, and of course there are, I'm not going to let that determine how I do things. I'm just going to keep an eye on it, if that makes sense. Because if this works really well, I don't see why it shouldn't work well. It will be a new way of doing things. And so I don't see any limits to that. Don't see any big challenges. I see it all work.
Well, you're setting the limits, right? Because if what you're doing is not being done before, you're ultimately setting the goalposts.
Well, let's put it this way. So the challenges are people, you know, the cost of living and whatever. Well, that's an opportunity for me, isn't it? Why would you be paying £30,000 for lawyers' fees when you could come to me and spend 10 by being smart with your money. So it's a fantastic opportunity. So I thrive in that. I don't see it as a challenge.
So you sound like you're oozing with creativity, which is so refreshing for anyone to come across, business owners or consumers, etc. How do you stay creative? What are your kind of rituals? Do you have like a morning routine in the morning that you go for a jog, your meditation, or whatever? But what gets you creative and kind of firing on all cylinders?
I don't know, because obviously I can speak for myself, but I do feel that everyone has creativity in them, but most of the time we're very frightened about that, so we want to conform because that is, again, the easy way, and it can be scary to be doing something different and being creative. But I always have 100 more ideas or 1,000 more ideas than I put into practice. My problem is just trimming them down and being really consistent with my ideas. So I don't find the creativity anything that's difficult. I find my task is to keep that in check and try to be more organized, try to get to bed, at a routine time, get enough sleep, not to overdo it, because if I'm interested in something, I'll just want to work on it for hours and get it right. So I kind of have to let that go a bit and look after myself. So self-care, obviously getting enough sleep, eating healthily, not drinking alcohol. I only drink it occasionally. Just all those normal, we know what we should be doing. It's not, I'm not going to say anything shockingly different, but a lot of self-care, and realize that if I don't look after myself, I'm not going to be able to do all those things, so yeah, self-care, routines, meditation, I will try 5 minutes, if everything gets too busy, I slow down. I find that's a good thing. If I take on too much, I deliberately slow down, sit down if I can, but I tend to be always, having new ideas. So my biggest task is to just keep on track and make sure that, I do what I say I'm going to do, not do too much.
Brilliant. And that speaks to like a really important area of your industry, which is kind of integrity and credibility. Probably when it comes to professional services, the law profession is seen as one of the most ones which other people look up to for integrity, credibility. I mean, over the years, as a barrister in your previous venture or career rather, to setting up your own business, what would you say has contributed to, or what have you done to contribute to your integrity, your credibility in front of your customers?
Well, I decided at quite a young age I wanted to be a barrister. Thought that would be a cool thing to do. No one in my parents hadn't been to university, my brothers hadn't been, so this was just a new thing. Thought I could do it, and I did do it. I remember shadowing a barrister, watching a criminal case, and I just thought, in my mind, I just don't want to be that kind of barrister, because I could tell that he was explaining something to his client, just been in court, and I could absolutely see that person didn't understand what was going on. So when I became a barrister, and I was a criminal barrister first, all through my career, I always tried to make sure that people could really understand what was going on. And I think that a lot of barristers don't understand that communication is really important. And so what I think I'm trying to do is to make sure people really understand, keep the lines of communication open. And so awesome. If I'm assisting them, I'm always watching out. Do they fully understand something? Because they might say they understand and actually they don't, and they're just too embarrassed to explain that.
That is so true. Because people don't want to look silly or less educated or knowledgeable in front of other people. So, I understand what you're talking about. Yeah, but really, they don't know what's going on. So just really shedding a light over there you are on the communication is a two-way process. Yes, they're saying it, but is it actually the case? So that's really refreshing to hear. We're running out of time, but I'd like to squeeze in one quick question.
Yeah.
Final question is, what advice would you give to your 18-year-old self if you would start all over again? Your career, your business, you're starting again. If you're 18 years old now, what advice would you give yourself?
Honestly, this is going to sound a terrible thing to say, but it's just like, it's great. Just, you're going to have a great time. I'm going to have ups and downs. It's not all going to go the way you think. Stick in there. It's all going to be fine. Keep having fun.
Have fun. Enjoy the journey as you go along.
Have fun. Or even the bad times. They've been, it has to happen. Remember, there's, you know, what goes up does come down. That's the main thing. You can be just flavor of the month and the next minute just is not working out, but just hang in there. That's what I'd say. It's going to be
Just hang
fine.
in there and have fun. Well, Joanna, it's been amazing speaking with you today, and it has been fun listening to your story, what you've learned, and the wonderful wisdom you've been imparting other people over here. It's been really good. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.